Hello everyone, welcome to Inspired Choices TV. I am your host, Christine McIver, and today we have another inspiring guest who's going to be sharing what he is doing in creating greater in the world. At Inspired Choices TV, we are looking for individuals who are inspiring others to create greater and how they're doing that in their lives. Do you know someone who's creating greater in the world? Are you someone who's creating greater in the world? I would love to speak with you. Please connect with me at Inspired Choices TV, and you can do so at christine@inspiredchoices.ca. So today we are going to be talking to someone who is motivating at warp speed. My guest today is Peter Tolias. Peter is a man who I've met just about 6 months ago, and he swirled into my life, and I sat there and talked to him, and I'm like, oh my God, who is this guy? And I want to know more. And I know after today, you're going to want to know more as well. Peter, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And so, we met about 6 months ago, I think
Yes.
it was, or maybe it was 3 years and we don't remember because it's going so quickly.
Exactly.
So you are doing amazing things in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to show people where you were and where you are today and how you've chosen to go in this path and what's brought you here.
Yeah.
So you live in Mississauga.
Yes.
And you have a landscaping business.
Yes.
That's what you. Now, when did you start the landscaping
When
business?
I was 19.
When you were 19.
Yeah.
Now, were you born in Canada?
I was born in Canada, yes.
You were.
Yes.
Cool. And so you started this landscaping business. Was it just you, or did you have a team right away?
It was just me. I was I was 13 years old, and my mother, God rest her soul, she sent me to Greece at the time to go preach the gospel. So I went to Greece with $100, and I spent 6 months over there. And that was an interesting trip. I was homeless for a bit, and ended up. I always joke around that I started the squeegee business. You know what I mean? And I should have franchised it out. But anyways, I came back to Canada, went back to school, but I'd missed grades 6, 7, and 8. And then I got out of high school just barely, and I said, well, what am I going to do with my life? So I started a landscaping company, even though I didn't really know anything about landscaping or didn't have any money. But I studied successful people, and successful people just go at things, I realized, and they wrote goals down. So I started writing my goals down and started going over them every single day and believing that I could accomplish anything. And one thing led to another, and now we have 71 trucks, and we have 90 guys on the road and working, and life's great.
Life's great.
Yeah.
And that's only the beginning.
Yes, oh, for sure.
So when you and I met, you were just embarking on a huge adventure.
Yes.
So that was the adventure of I Can, We Can.
That's correct. Yeah.
So tell all of our viewers what I Can, We Can is.
Yeah. So just to backtrack a little bit, like basically, I got the 6 cars, the 2 houses, and I was down in Florida at my house, and I was sitting around on the beach. I didn't have to work anymore, and I said, well, this can't be what life's all about. Like, you know what I mean? There's no fulfillment. It's, it's boring, but everybody dreams to retire early and live a good life. So I said, what is happiness? So I started studying successful people that were happy, like Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Buddha, Gandhi, Jesus. And I realized people that gave back were really fulfilled in life and left a legacy. So I decided to go back and start the I Can, We Can, and start helping kids believe that they could accomplish anything by writing their goals down, believing in themselves, and believing in the impossible, and then working towards to accomplish it.
So you were speaking to the young men and women out there that were like you.
Yes, yes.
And that didn't have the money, didn't have maybe the direction or the spark.
Yeah.
To how to.
Well, I feel like sometimes the world makes us feel like we can't do things, and they put all these stigmas on a lot of people. And people told me because I didn't have any education, I was stupid. You know what I mean? And, I used to wake up in the morning and tell myself I'm a genius, and which is crazy, really. But it's about reprogramming your mind and getting yourself to believe you can accomplish anything. So, I mean, with the amount of money I make a year, I'm 1% out of 7 billion people with no education, no knowledge of what I'm doing in landscaping. It's 1% out of 1%. But I was able to reprogram my mind to believe that I could do anything. And I overcame all the stigmas and all the hardships and just focused on what I wanted to get done. So I realized that this was like kind of a formula that, I'm sure other people in the past have known, but because I was really good with kids and I've been in the bad areas and I was in drugs and gangs, I feel like I could go back and they could relate to me a lot better, So with the I Can, We Can, I realized if I can, then we can. So I started,
Okay.
So I started working with the police and the different organizations, the United Way, the Rotary Club, and different school boards, and making gold books and giving out T-shirts. And then I realized that a lot of these bad neighborhoods, it's hard for me to go in because maybe I don't fit the profile of who they look up to.
Okay.
So I decided to do this big event during AllStar. I figured it's AllStar this winter in Toronto. Everybody's going to be in town. Why don't I rent out an arena and bring a bunch of celebrities and do a celebrity basketball game? Give all the tickets away to the kids in the bad neighborhoods, and they get pictures with my gold book with all the celebrities like Snoop Dogg and 2 Chainz and Terrell Owens and Jose Batista and Mark Cuban. And anyways, and then these kids would see the gold book and think it's cool to write their goals down. And so that's what I embarked to do this winter, and it was a huge success.
So how many people did you have at the event?
5,000.
5,000 people at the event?
Yes, yeah.
And you had how many celebrities?
We had over 35 celebrities, you know what I mean? And everybody told me it was impossible. I think we put the whole event together in 8 weeks, right? And, I went to council and to the mayor, and they said, it's a great idea, Peter, but it's impossible. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like,
don't tell this man something is impossible.
You know, and I said, well, why is it impossible? I go, everything's possible. We're going to have to work hard. So, I kind of lost some people along the way. They didn't think it would have the school boards like, well, Peter, we can't turn around this quick. This is in 8 weeks. So I refinanced my house, maxed out all my credit cards. I booked the arena, went down to Beverly Hills with no appointments. I found Snoop Dogg, and Mr. Snoop Dogg.
What were you doing? Like walking down the street and you found him?
I was down in Beverly Hills at the Beverly Hills Wilshire, and I was telling everybody, well, I had Courtside AllStar tickets, right? I was able to purchase these Courtside AllStar tickets that nobody can really buy, right? Like, they're not for sale. Mm-hmm. But because I know a lot of different people, and people see that I have a big heart, they managed to get me the opportunity to buy these tickets for $150,000. So I bought these 2 tickets, and I went down to Beverly Hills.
Just some chump change.
Yeah, I had to refinance my house. But when I went down to Beverly Hills, yes, I used these courtsides to talk to the celebrities down there, yes, and the people in the hotels, saying, look, I got these tickets. I want to give them to celebrities. I want to come and help me help kids.
Yes.
Who wants to sit courtside at the All-Star game?
Yeah. That is phenomenal. So you get to Courtside, yes, and then is Snoop Dogg there?
So what ends up happening? So I have these tickets, and that got Drake's attention, and that got
How did it get Drake's attention?
Well, what happens is the word travels that this guy's got Courtside tickets. You know what I mean or not, right? Because you can't get.
This is not a world I know, so I have to ask these questions.
So the All-Star game is the most important basketball game of the year, right? Where anybody wants to come, yes, all over North America.
Right.
So there's only so many seats in the court on the floor in the front row. So when you have these kind of seats, people would love to buy them or love to take them for free. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So basically, I started speaking to Drake's people and different rappers' people, and then the word got out that I actually did have these tickets. And because I had those tickets, I was able to get in front of people normally you wouldn't get in front of. They probably wouldn't even give you the time of day.
Right.
And then after, they're like, well, Peter, we don't really care about the tickets, but we kind of like what you're saying, actually. You know what I mean? And in the end,
So you started telling them about the Cant Weekend.
Yeah. And in the end, Snoop Dogg's like, you know what? I'll come there, and I'll do a basketball game. So I said, perfect. I already got an arena. And then we put it together, and it was just a smash success. And Snoop, Snoop's a big icon in the community. I mean, Snoop's not perfect, and people said, well, Snoop Dogg, Peter, is he the best example for kids? And I said, look, we all make mistakes. We're not all perfect, but Snoop Dogg relates to certain people in different neighborhoods. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Then I brought the police. I brought a Buddhist monk. I brought a Catholic priest, a Greek priest, I brought a rabbi, and I brought 5,000 kids from all the bad neighborhoods in Toronto. I went out with my friend Stevie OG from Flemo, and we gave out all the tickets for free, which is crazy, right?
Which is amazing.
You know what I mean? But I figure if we give these tickets away for free, let's give these kids the opportunity to be part of the Celebrity All-Star experience. I'll do a motivational talk with all these celebrities here, and we'll just fire everybody up and get a positive movement going. You know what I mean? We put a contest out for the most positive rapper. So we had a positive rappers sending in videos to try to win to perform at our event, and we got the most positive rapper out of Brampton. And I figured if we change the music, we can change the way these kids are thinking.
Right.
We change the way they think, we can change the way they feel. Change the way they feel, we can change their results. You know what I mean?
So, so they can create differently.
For sure. You know what I mean? And it was just one of the most tiring couple of months of my life, but some of the most rewarding. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the impossible happened. And we were able to put this event together. And then the mayor called me the next day and she said, Peter, it's Bonnie Crombie. I can't believe you did it. You know, she was away in Mexico, but it was just a huge success.
I am so thrilled for you.
Thank you.
And I'm not at the least bit surprised.
Yeah, you know.
You know, when I met you, I knew that there was something different. Mm-hmm. And it's not that, you know, you're taller than somebody or you have, you know, extra money in your pocket. You have a knowing. Mm-hmm. You have a knowing that you can change something.
Yes.
And that if you just keep moving mm-hmm. forward, mm-hmm. anything really is possible.
Yes, yes.
So tell all of our viewers where you just were this past week.
Yes, I was in Italy.
You were in Italy?
Yes, I was in Italy.
What were you doing there?
I went to visit the Pope, right?
Just
yeah. You know how you do it, right? And what happens is people think that everything's impossible. Like, you know, people are like, well, the Pope's such a big figure. How could I get to the Pope? You know, what could I do? Well, I put the Pope in my goal book. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I focused on it every day for about 2 years. And I said, I want to meet the Pope just like I wanted to meet the Dalai Lama last summer. You know what I mean? And basically...
Just, you know, the Dalai Lama.
Just the Dalai Lama.
Now he's with me.
Yeah,
I just want everybody to see
this. You know what I mean? So people, like, you know, I find don't achieve certain goals because of fear or because of rejection or because they just don't feel that they can.
Right.
You know, and I've done these couple of stunts with the Pope, the Dalai Lama, Drake, and Snoop Dogg just to show kids that it doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter, even if your whole family's telling you you're nuts. You got to get up and try to do it. You know what I mean? And you never know. And if you fail, you just get up again and try again. So, like, you know, I've managed to meet these people. And a great story that I always love to go back to, because the Dalai Lama, I've had him in my goal book a lot longer than the Pope. But you know, I went to India with no appointment. You know, I drank the water, I got sick, I was in the hospital. My wife's calling me like, where are you, honey? I go, I'm here to meet the Dalai Lama. She's like, well, honey, you're not going to just meet the Dalai Lama. But I go back to my goal book and I said, I'm going to meet the Dalai Lama. And what if I could? And how would I do it? And who would I call? And what if I try this? And what if I try that? And after 10 days, I got a call. And the Dalai Lama called me to his office and I met him. You know what I mean?
And what did he say to you?
He says, Peter, you're going to change the world in the most positive way in the history of the world. Now, the ironic thing is, I didn't know him and he didn't know me. So I don't know why he would say that to me. You know what I mean? But I think he's very in tune.
I think he's very in tune, just like you are.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I love what you're saying about just keep going. And I don't believe that there are any failures. Mm-hmm. I really don't believe that there are any failures. Mm-hmm. If you try something and it doesn't work, does it mean you failed or did you learn what didn't work?
Exactly.
And then you try again and you try again. You have never given up, Peter.
No.
You just say, what else? What else? Yeah. What else? Who else?
And that's what success is. And if you study billionaires and you study really successful people, they don't see the world like everybody else. They see their world the way they want it to be.
So they're creating their own reality.
Exactly, which sometimes can make you look crazy because you're basically going against the current, right? So most successful people in the world aren't like everybody else. They have a different mindset. I mean, if you study Edison tried to make a light bulb 10,000 times.
Yes.
So his wife would wake up in the morning and say, honey, what are you doing today? Well, I'm going to create this thing called light. Well, what's light? Well, you're going to hit a switch and the light's going to come on. Okay, honey. And then he kept trying every single day. And that's insanity.
10,000 times.
Yeah.
Did she stay with him, by the way?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't study their marriage. But in the end, he created light.
He did.
And what I realized is that the people that make it aren't smarter than me, aren't better than me, don't have more connections. It's the people that make it that never give up on their dreams.
Never give up.
And then you just have to have big dreams. That's what I did. I figured, okay, I got the cars, I got the houses, so I said, okay, I won't get out of bed in the morning if I don't change the world in the most positive way in the history of the world. So that was my new goal.
That was your new goal.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Fantastic.
And that's what I get up every day and I try to do now. You know what I mean?
And you are.
Yeah, one kid at a time.
And you know what? What if each and every one of us just looked at, okay, who's one person I can speak to today?
Yeah.
Who can I make a contribution to today?
Yeah.
We talk about, in the one body of work that I do, and you and I have talked about it before, is access consciousness, and we talk about contribution. As opposed to helping or gifting to someone, we talk about contribution, and when we are doing contribution, it's the simultaneity of gifting and receiving.
Yeah.
So when I give something to you, I'm also receiving something back, whether it's physically or energetically. When we're really looking to change the world, if we can look where we can make a contribution today, that's where we can absolutely change something. And if we all did the same thing that everybody else did, that's not change.
No, for
that's
sure.
duplication.
Yes, I agree with you. Yes.
So if we, I love what you're doing. I love what you're saying. I've had many people say to me, Christine, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing, how do you ever do it? It's like, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
Sure.
What else? What else? I keep asking, what else?
Yeah.
And it's amazing the people that show up in my life, like you.
For sure.
And I'm meeting people from all over the world, and I'm creating greater than I ever have before. I know that I am making a contribution because my life is changing.
For sure.
When you're creating and contributing to others, your life changes too.
I think 1,000%, and I think the world it's a lot about energy, right?
Yes.
And people's vibrations are down because people feel that they're after everybody wants more money, more
grabbing.
this, and then people keep trying to step on other people to get ahead. So like I just started helping other people get ahead of me. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I felt good. Do you know what I mean? And then if I got more, I gave more. And then the more I kept giving, the more happier I kept getting. And the more I kept helping kids and doing things for others. And, it wasn't a dollar figure because it cost me a lot of money, trust me. But it was about the energy. And the energy keeps turning around. You know what I mean?
But you don't do it, Peter, correct me if I'm wrong. You don't do it from a place of self-sacrifice. You're not trying to be a martyr and give everything away. You're literally contributing, and you're still taking care of yourself and your family.
Yes.
You still enjoy this life.
Of course. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which is very different because people, I think, oftentimes see it as one or the other. I either have to be a martyr and I have to give it all away so I can't enjoy myself, and that's really not a lot of fun.
No.
Or I have to be a jerk and just grab and reject everybody else. And you're just dropping all of that.
Yeah.
And you're saying, you know what? I'm going to contribute, but I'm willing to have and receive as well.
Yes. I think it's important to do a little bit of both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do give a lot, and sometimes, I really keep giving, but I realize that it's just finding that balance where you can help others and look after your family, and then I realized if we could just all do 2% better, if we could get the police to do a little better, if we can get the people, the Italians, the Jews, the people
Don't
in
forget
different,
the Irish,
everybody, just do a little bit better. Maybe hold a door for someone else in front of you, pay for a coffee for the person on back of you, help a homeless person out. There's just little things that we could all do, and the universe could start to shift a little bit.
Well, I can honestly tell you, Peter, in doing these TV shows and sitting and having, being present with someone and talking with them for 30 minutes. It's changing something. It's massively changing. I'm connecting with people on such a different level. And I think that, we pass each other on the street, we sit beside each other on the bus, we drive down the road, and we don't connect. And we honestly can look at each other and connect. I'm out walking every morning. And, I'm oftentimes seeing lots of different people who are out walking as well. And there'll be a few people that they won't ever look at you. They won't look at you. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then there'll be other people that'll look, good morning. And they really look at me. And they see me. And I see them. And they contribute to my life. Just with that willingness to be present.
Oh, for sure.
We don't have to, in order to change the world, we don't have to meet Snoop Dogg or the Pope or the Dalai Lama or mortgage our homes. We can do that by looking for one person each day that we can contribute to.
Sure. Yes. Yeah, I can understand what you're saying, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're doing that.
Yeah.
You're doing that all the time.
Yeah.
So this is fantastic. I could talk to you for days.
No, for sure. And it was just about, with Snoop Dogg, was tapping the different genres. You know what I mean? Because there's stigmas about Snoop Dogg, and there's stigmas about different groups of people. And really, when you get to know these people, they're very nice. And they've got a big
human
heart,
beings.
and they do a lot of really good things. I mean, Snoop Dogg helps 3,500 kids in L.A. play football every summer and stay out of gangs. You know what I mean? And
wow.
But so many times people overlook what he does, and they say, oh, he smokes weed, or he does this, or. But everybody's not perfect, and I think we can all do something to contribute. And and we with using people that different people relate to. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is June now, June 2016. The Cant Weekend was February of 2016. Yeah. So you've had a few months to enjoy the benefits of all of that. Where are you going forward with the Cant Weekend?
Well, we'll be speaking in a lot of schools, and I'm doing a big police blitz this summer with the Youth Initiative Policing Program in Toronto. And we're hiring kids in different areas of Toronto, and maybe some of the areas that are more troubled. And they'll be working with police officers. And then I'll be doing motivational talks with these kids and goal setting all summer. And by the end of the summer, we hope to send them on their way, having a better impression of the police, having a better impression of themselves, and with a goal book and a dream for them to go and chase, you know?
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. So for all of our viewers, and they're likely not going to be these teens that you're talking to, and if they are, fantastic. But for the viewers out there, how can they contribute to what you're doing? How can they be part of your targets?
Well, I mean, yeah, I know everybody has groups of people that they're affiliated to. If they have a group or some kind of students or some type of people that they know that I could come out and speak to, I appreciate that. And you know, when we always need volunteers for our events. So I mean, my website is icantweekend.ca, www. And so yeah, we could be reached there, and if they can help out in any way, it's great. And prayers and positive energy, just fed positive more energy this way.
Positive energy, we will always have some of that.
Out there, you know what I mean?
That's fantastic,
yeah.
Peter.
So,
wow.
And I think it's all about just creating a different energy. Sometimes I feel like the world's all Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and people start losing connections with each other, you know?
Yes.
And then sometimes there's a lot of bad things happening in the world, but everybody's so focused on themselves, sometimes so, you know, oh, I got to look after. But if we just turned to let me help that person helped that person, and we all just started giving a little bit more. And even like our thoughts, sometimes we start thinking things about people, and we don't realize that thoughts have energy.
Yes.
And that energy goes out. So like I've been consciously trying to control every single thought that goes through my mind, that it's a positive energy. And even in every bad situation that's happened to me, I try to find the good, because there is good.
Yes.
And if you can do that, you can bypass a lot of things and just keep growing so fast.
Yeah.
Because you're not worried about what bad happened. You're trying to find the good in the bad situation.
Right. Well, you're what I call a seeker, and you know that something else is possible and something else is greater, and you're always looking for it, no matter what. I mean, even a pile of shit has its purpose, right?
For sure.
It's a nutrients for the ground, for the growing these gorgeous flowers that we get to enjoy,
exactly.
right? So everything, if we begin to question it and we start looking at things, possibly just turning our perspective on it, we can actually change what's going on in the world.
And not everybody understands like positive energy, because some people they're just, you know, I hang out with a lot of different groups of people. You know, and not everybody's on the same vibration, but you know what I mean? But if you start showing people like, you know, what it feels like to do something good, like, and you say, well, people don't do good things, Peter. A lot of the time people get stuck in these ruts, or they're just in their own world. And you know, it's like hitting a light bulb and just showing people how to do it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, how to start loving and caring and helping again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got to come back again.
Yeah,
this is
thank
fantastic.
You thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So I have 5 questions for you. I'd like to hear your answers on. They're easy questions. Okay. So what is your favorite inspirational quote, and how has it influenced you in your life?
I think my favorite inspirational quote is one by Winston Churchill. Consistency goes from going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. So it's basically just continuing, and trying to achieve your goal without like losing. So it's like getting knocked down in the face and just getting up and just going at it again, getting knocked down again and just keep going. And I think that best describes me, right? I just don't know what no means. I just don't know what can't means. They're not even my vocabulary.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. How did you know them right now?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, you know.
Okay, so what inspires you to get out of bed in the morning? I think you maybe have already spoken to this. Is there anything else? Your beautiful children?
Obviously,
your beautiful
I have a beautiful baby and a beautiful wife and a family that I love and I look after, and I have everything I want. I was looking for a beautiful girl for so many years, and then I put her in my goal book, and I went over it every day. And 3 years later, I met this girl, and as soon as I met her, I go, this is the girl I'm going to marry. And so they inspire me, and I want to make a difference. I want to help people that can't help themselves. I want to show people the tools to do it, and I know I can. My goal is to become the biggest motivational speaker in the world, and that's what I'm going to do, and I won't stop until I get there.
You heard it here.
Right here first.
I love that. What has been the most surprising thing you have chosen in your life?
Surprising? Chosen?
Yeah, the most surprising. And you've chosen a lot of surprising things, but which is the most surprising?
Like a thing or like
anything?
anything?
Anything.
Well, you know what? going and going on this journey to say I want to change the world in the most positive way in the history of the world, that was kind of surprising. You know what I mean? And it's a lot to take in, right? You know what I mean? But if you ask yourself the right question every day and you look for answers, it's funny, you may find them. Do you know what I mean? Or no?
Yeah.
And Nelson Mandela changed South Africa through sport. Even though he had been in jail for 30 years, that's why I did the Cant Weekend celebrity basketball game. You know what I mean? To change it through sport. Bring people together that normally Mark Cuban, I don't know if he hangs out with Snoop Dogg every day, but they were in the same court together and they played together, and that's how the world will start changing. So hopefully I answered your question.
You did. You did.
All right.
What is your greatest secret to creating the life you have?
I think my greatest secret is to just control what I focus on. And I have a lot of challenges every day too, just like everyone else. But I think the greatest secret is just writing everything down and what you focus on, what you think is impossible and what you think is possible. When I started my company, everybody around me told me I was crazy and it's not going to happen. I built a $4 million business. I wanted to buy a certain house and I have 6 cars. Everybody said it was crazy. I just kept focusing on what I wanted. I wanted a house on the water in Florida. Everybody thought I was nuts. I went and bought the house on the water in Florida, and I go down once a month. So I think the greatest secret is just you believing. Don't let other people put limitations on yourself, and you create your own limitations.
Right.
So what if there are no limitations?
Yeah.
What if there are no limits? You know what I mean?
There aren't.
And what if you just keep trying, and if you stop trying, then maybe life was over anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe you're done.
Yeah.
What name, other than the one you own, would you like to be called by?
AKA Mr. Positive. You know what I mean?
AKA Mr. Positive.
That's my goal. You know what? My goal is to take my goal book into the best country clubs in North America without an invitation, and take that same goal book into the worst hoods in North America, because that's how the world would change. And it's funny how all those areas connect in business.
It is interesting.
Yeah,
it is very interesting.
Once you start getting to certain levels, it seems like everybody's part of everybody. You know what I mean? So what I started doing is I started hanging out with the Italians, the Jews, the police, the different groups, the Bikers for Jesus, and I started going back and forth to different groups and talking about different things that are going on in the universe, helping everybody else win around me, connecting people, and then I got 2% from everybody to do good in different communities. So and then I started to create this wheel, and this wheel started to turn, and people started to actually, really care, and it was funny how different people come at different times that you would never expect to help, but did. You know what I mean?
It's you, Peter.
Yeah, I'm right. You know what? And it's just good people like you putting great shows like this together and putting out that positive energy.
Hey, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Wow, this has been phenomenal.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see where you're going to take Cant Weekend in the next, 10 years.
For sure. Thank you so much.
You'll have your own TV show. People will be following you around looking for your autograph all the time.
That's in my goal book.
I got to see this goal book. Thank you so much,
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. Wow, what a great show with Peter. There's so many things that each and every one of us can be doing in the world to change our own world and change the world around us. Are you ready to take that step? Are you ready to say, I'm never going to stop. I'm going to keep moving forward? You can do it. Remember, you can always make another choice. Thank you again, everyone. Please tune in next week. We will have another inspirational guest to be sharing what they're doing in creating greater in the world. Bye for now, everybody.